Well, hello, guys. By popular demand, I have switched my graphics to fancy graphics. I wasn't not putting my graphics on fancy for any reason. I just never had a computer before that was capable of handling it when I started playing Minecraft. And once I did, I just never switched it. I just didn't know really about it. I was kind of just in a groove of this is how I do things. So I switched it to fancy graphics. This Enderman is kind of going crazy over here. I think it's because it's the daylight. However, he looks angry. I was standing right here doing something in the chest, and he teleported right in front of me. Just kind of walked around for a minute and then teleported away. It was very strange. I don't know if he's mad at me or not, but I really don't want to find out. I'm going to enchant, because I have 10 levels right now, I'm going to enchant an iron pick. Just an iron one, nothing big. You know what? Maybe I should enchant an iron sword. Oh no, iron pick, why not? Just, the only reason I'm doing this is because I have 10 levels, and boop, I will probably die. Efficiency 2, that's fine. I will probably die soon. That's the only reason I did that now, because I want to go back to the nether and work on my track. However, somebody has given me some information I was unaware of that might change my process of this. I guess I'll just use this for now for testing. So what they said was, you guys probably know the answer to this. I did not when I started to do the scheme that I'm going on, unfortunately. So what I'm trying to do is build a pillar sort of like this. I'm going to have, you know, I planned on having my track go down like so, and what I was told is that these powered rails cannot turn, which is absolutely correct. So, if I'm gonna do this strategy that I'm currently still contemplating doing, of the way I have this set up now, I need it to go down, do a straight, and then a down, and a straight. Will this work? So that won't work either. And now, unfortunately, oh, I left my other. You know what? Let's just build over here for the second. I just don't feel like jumping down. I'm so close. I'll destroy this all in a minute. I have got 21 regular track for the second, and if I were to do something like this, and then, like, let's say put that in so that this stuff can go, so that won't connect either. I would actually need to go one of those, which will not apparently turn properly either. No matter how I look at it, I'm going to need multiple switches or power sources, because I can't even put a switch there. If I put a switch here and turn this on, it will not turn that one on, only this section here. So I need to come up with the best possible solution for the least amount of jut outs, and I think it might actually be a kind of a zigzag, about 4 or 5 down each direction, back and forth. And unfortunately, the main issue with that I'm having is that it's going to be kind of a pain. I mean, not kind of a pain. Quite a major pain. That's what it's going to be. Just so enemies can't get to me for the time being. Let me just meet you guys in the nether. Get some supplies together. We're going to try to make something work and see how bad the ghasts are. Well, guys, it appears I'm coming up with a new plan. What I've done is, instead of going down, where I have this beautiful tunnel and everything already built, I kind of went over it quite a bit, and it seems like it's going to be a much more lucrative option. Oh my god, get the fuck out. Whew. Huh. I got so lucky that I landed on something there. And this, unfortunately, is part of the danger of doing this. I could technically go up higher and build it into the nether. Debating if it's worth it to do that. It's not that much higher. And it might very well be worth it to do such things. If I start it right here. This efficiency pick is already almost gone because I was using it as just a normal tool. I didn't make it for any specific purpose of anything crazy. It's just kind of an extra pick because I had extra levels. Like, nothing crazy. Trying to conserve my cobble, even though with doing something like this I won't need nearly as much cobble to protect myself, which is good. Except I don't know how high I need to go into this. Should be. See how far over this goes. I mean, I'm almost there. I know this lines up to where I'm supposed to go. I just hope I didn't overshoot it and go too high, which is possible. Not quite. I'm making sure there's a barrier between myself and certain death. So I still need to keep going up here, huh? I unfortunately, just like I said, don't know exactly how high I need to go. I didn't go over there, and bye-bye efficiency pick. Hopefully this other pick will be enough to get me exactly where I needed to go. So instead of going this way, boop, we are going to reseat this with cobble to make sure that it's a secure path. And I very well could have just solved my problem and made it a lot safer in the long run than it previously would have been. I think I'll just do this layer real quick and then go encase that area that I'm in over here. Because it's open and I don't like that, but I wonder if it would be better to encase this area, because it's nice and wide right now. I can at least encase it a couple wide. That's not really a couple wide now, is it? Something like that. And I really don't need to go super far with it because I can close it off right here. I just make this side a little wider too. Want that. I want that. Is this right? I think this is right. It's just a shame that I built that entire thing over there, and it is now. Oops. There we go. It is now closed off. And this, I probably should come back before I actually lay cart and put cobble on this. I have a lot of stone on me. I think I'm going to do that, and just so I have at least a bottom layer of cobble in order to put my rail track on. And see, this is what I did here. Instead of going down, I'm going to come straight over here. So let me, oh crap, I'm going to run out of a pick when I do this. That's a shame. But I won't make you guys watch this, and I will be back with you guys shortly. Alright guys, I've come back home. I've relocated all of that track underneath the spot that I had previously built, and have relocated it up above, and have used a lot of my iron to make pretty much all this track I have right here. And what I'm going to do now is, there we go, try to make this track go all the way back to my house. I don't know if I'm going to have, or my new location, I mean. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to make it all the way. I will come back at a later time and replace the track that I need to with, you know what, let's check this real quick. I've been checking some of the ground to make sure. I'm leaving the netherrack there when it looks like it's at least a couple thick. When it's not, I'm trying to replace the ground with cobblestone in order to make it so I'm not just sitting on one layer of nothingness. I'm sure I've missed some spots, but I've gone through and tried to make it as good as I possibly could for the time being. We can always come back and correct that later. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to go through and put the gold track in the what do they call them? The booster tracks. I'm going to put them on at a later time after I get the basic function of the track laid out, so that I can just kind of make sure I have a working track to get back with for now, to make sure I have enough stuff to make it all the way. But in the meantime, see, here's one of those areas that it was open, and I kind of closed it up and made it a little wide, but protected at the same time. In the meantime, I can, while I'm doing this, I can talk to you guys for just a little bit. So, as many of you would know if you watch my videos on a regular basis, yeah, this is a closed off area, that I have recently switched positions to a nursing informatics position. And for those who don't know what that is, it's basically IT or computer type stuff in the nursing field. Now, one thing I was unaware of is that most hospitals, their nursing informatics positions are not part of the Department of Nursing, which at my hospital currently it is, but they're actually working on getting that switched. I am slightly against the idea of, I'm not going to have nearly enough track for this. That's kind of a shame. I'm going to have to get a lot more iron ore, go through a lot more caves in order to get the right amount of track to make it all the way back to where I got to go. Sorry, the lag. I thought I had missed something. Now, I'm kind of against the fact that nursing informatics positions normally are not part of the Department of Nursing. They're normally part of the IT department, apparently. A lot of people I work with have been nursing informaticists or informaticians, or I'm not actually sure what the right word is for that, if it's a nursing informaticist or if it's a nursing informatician. I've seen both. Not really quite sure what it is, but either way, that being said, that they've been in these positions in other hospitals for many years and been in the IT department. And one of the guys actually said something to me the other day, which really threw me off. It took me by surprise that he said what he said, but he said when he came to this hospital, he almost had, or he had to kind of prove that he had BLS certification, which is basic life support. It's like CPR. He had to show that he had a nursing license and all that stuff because it's technically a nursing position. And I thought that that's kind of the way that nursing informatics went in general. See, I ran out of track already. I used all of that track already, and I'm at 100, or excuse me, negative 352, and I think I have to get to like negative 600. So I need like 300 more pieces of track, which is more iron than I have by a long shot. So in the near future, you might see some caving episodes. But in the meantime, what I can do is I can show you guys this run back for one, and I can. Oh, no, no, no. This is not where I want to go because this is to that old tunnel. So what I do is I go, let me just block this off like that. So I go this way now. You know what? I don't have 300 to go per se. I guess we'll find out when I get there because I've already started a lot of the track from the other side. No, it really might actually be about 300 to go. Yeah, look at me. I'm approaching 600 quickly in that Z position. Yeah. Wow, I have a lot more track to lay down. Because I come up here. This is where I finished. So, yeah, just about negative. So, about 250 more pieces of track, approximately. But this is all the track that I had gone through and laid down from what was below. And I also went and replaced the floor that I had missed before with cobblestone. So that this whole stretch is, at least underneath, is going to be fine. I'm not sure about to the sides, but I guess we'll find out as this goes. I'm going to go back and make some of the booster rail with as much gold as I have and try to get that set up just to see what exactly I will need for... Did I keep myself a lot of cobble? Yeah, because I'm going to need a lot of switches. I need switches or redstone, but I'd rather waste sticks and cobble as opposed to the redstone to make redstone torches, because that's going to be a lot easier to get a hold of. I guess I should build this ending into a starter track somewhere. So that's my way up. I guess I could start it right there. Whoop. Yeah, that should work. So I'll need a couple pieces of regular track as well as, you know, what do I got in this chest? I have absolutely zero track in this chest. I do have cobblestone though. I do have a minecart, so that's good. I don't have to waste my iron to make a minecart for testing. But as I was saying is, he actually made a comment that he had almost let his nursing license lapse in the last job that he had, and because it was in the IT department, he didn't actually need a nursing license anymore. And he's glad that he didn't, because now that he's at where we're at, he is in a position where he requires the nursing license to also be on file, because we're technically in the nursing department, which, like I said, I always thought that's where that stuff should have been. I don't remember how to actually make a power track. Give me 10 seconds, I will be back. Actually, for you guys, give me about 0.25 seconds. 1,000. Oh, I already beat you. 48 powered rail. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get me 60. I can't make any more. I actually can make a little bit more, but not really that much. And levers. Do I really want to make 38 levers? Well, I need as many levers. Well, not quite as many levers, actually, but 40, whatever. 44 levers. Who cares? I have plenty of levers now. I have regular rail. I have powered rail. Let's see here. So as I was saying, like, he almost let his nursing license lapse, which, for one, I think is crazy. But you're our profession is nursing. Granted, we have moved over to a role of an IT role. I get. Oh wait, I can't put that there. We just build into this wall here. Oh, I guess that works. Will that be enough to power me? I did not make a button, which I actually need, but it's okay. I actually had some smooth stone on me, so that works out perfectly. So I put this here. That will light that up. I got this. Let's see if this actually... Okay, that moves me really, really slow. Oh, I forgot. This is a very small... Move this back one and put 2 powered rails here, because I think that'll be better. There we go. Come around here. I'll probably right in this corner I'll have another one. Now I don't know if you need 1 or 2. I don't know what the best method of doing this stuff is, but for now we're just gonna put... Where'd all those levers go? Oh, they're covered by the 44. They're right there already. So let's see this again. Into that corner. So if I start going this way, I'll turn this corner, and there we go. One's a perfect speed boost. I definitely don't need any going down. I don't know how it's going to look the other direction, though. Man, I still got a lot of momentum going on. Man, you almost don't even need a... I mean, I'm slowing down here. If I go back to... I can obviously add more later, but if I kind of go back to here, I might not need nearly as many powered rail as I thought I was going to need. Because this is a lot faster than I had once anticipated. I better eat because I keep jumping into the ceiling, which is taking health. Now I got a big up going on, so this up is going to take... Yeah, this up is going to need to be almost completely powered rail. Which is nice because it gives me regular rail I'll get back to. I guess one thing I can test too. By the time I get to the top of this, I should be able to... So do that, and I put a switch right here. Powered rail up. Yeah, that's not much. That doesn't slow me down hardly at all. That gets me here. How does... Let's say if I'm coming back, because I'm going to get a little bit of a speed boost going down. And I'll get a significant speed boost off of this. I have the feeling this is going to take me all the way back to the... Yeah, with that piece of rail right there. That was a weird turnaround. Oh, there's a big up here. So, probably on this part of the up, I can put more powered rail. I probably do not need them all the way. Actually, I probably could go something like this, just to save on powered rail. Turn that on. Leave this as regular rail in the middle here, and kind of up near the top of this Just put on like 2 more pieces of powered rail, something like that. Because that'll give me a nice boost that way. I'm almost thinking that just for the sake of efficiency here, I pop one in right there. Because that corner might cause me problems later. So I'll get to that. I got a boost. Yeah, there we go. Where did I put that other one? Oh, it's way up here around the corner. So I definitely start to slow down before that. Let me see how I go See, that is the problem with 2. Maybe I will leave this as just as 1, because then I think you will actually reset properly. And if I leave that as 1, I can just put 1 like... Well, that is not what I wanted to go there. Put one of these right here. And I'll get a boost pretty quickly out of the gate, one right around the corner. Yeah, this isn't taking nearly as much powered rail as I expected. Nice, hit some on the down. I'll hit one right here on the corner. Yeah, riding a minecart. Oh, yeah. Got one there, just to make sure I get all the way to this uphill battle, which I just successfully accomplished. Beautiful. I like that. Now I just got to see how it's going to go the other direction. But what I'm basically getting at is we're nurses by trade. People have slipped into the computer field. I am one of the exceptions to the rule. There's more people like me, but I was in the computer field first and then went into nursing. And now that I'm in nursing, I like it because I can see both sides of the nursing and the IT side. And in order to extrapolate that even further, for one, let me finish my statement on anybody who's a nurse who's willing to let their license lapse just because they took a position that doesn't necessarily involve bedside, I think is just crazy. Oh, good, and that seems to reset. I will obviously give myself a little headroom here to be able to get out. And let me make sure that it actually reset completely where I wanted it to. You know what? Let's just move that like here, just because I think it's going to make it a better ride. Because yeah, and then I hit another one right away. Oh, and I'm good to go. Oh yeah, beautiful. I just need to get this rail finished, laid out. So anybody who's willing to let their license lapse, that's just crazy to me. It's not hard to keep your license up once you get it. You need to get, I think there's a certain number of hours of clinical work you need, but I think it's something like 36 every 2 years. Like 36 hours. That's not much. That's a normal week for a nurse to work. And granted, if you're not working in a position that you're actually doing direct patient care, you have to go out of your way to get it, and I understand that. However, it's 36 hours every 2 years. It's not exactly difficult to do, and the concept of losing a license that you've worked so hard to get, I think, is just crazy. But in keeping with I'm a very firm believer in, I think I'm going to make a great nursing informatician because of the fact that I have the computer background as well as that I have the nursing background. The computer background that they teach you in nursing informatics school is not the traditional IT computer engineering type background that I have. It's a you're a nurse, this is the concept of computers and electronic charting and this and that. Now, go through and make it work, but they really don't have that official real computer knowledge that like an IT department, somebody in an IT department would have. They have a different level of knowledge on the computer basis, but they do have that nursing knowledge. And having nurses in the computer making decisions is great because they have the real world experience. They know how it. It's stupid. I did not pay attention that this might not be safe. That is not safe, and I don't like that at all. I really wanted to click one more down, but oh well, I got that. And I am one who wants to be able to, especially now that I'm going to be implementing a system that I was working on when I was an ED nurse. They put me in this role in order to help because I had a computer background, and which I think is good. And now I'm in a job role at my same hospital and everything where I'm going to be implementing the system I was helping design, which I think is great and it's perfect. And that's why they hired me for the role, because I have such extensive experience on both the nursing side and the IT side in dealing with this particular system. Well, if you're out of the bedside for long enough, you're going to lose those skills and that expertise. So I asked today my HR department, and I said, I know I'm not allowed to pick up hours anymore because I'm in a non-union position, whereas the nurses traditionally are working in a union position. I said, however, can I get hired into the float pool or as a PRN position, which are non-union positions, as a kind of a different part of my job. These positions don't have benefits. They're not full-time. It's something that you should be able to do, which they advertise on the website as the ability to work with your current employer still while getting extra experience elsewhere. They mean that in the aspect that you're going to be working in a different hospital, not this particular hospital. See, I have some gold left, but not much. Not this particular hospital. So, but I figured if I can start picking up some time in the... Oh, you know what? I need potatoes. I thought about something too, and... Oh, good, I did not. Oh, my God. I'm going to go replant my fields while I finish talking because I have them right now still all to wheat in order to get those cows, but I don't need those cows anymore. Not as many of them, at least. So I want to get my fields back to how they were. But I figured that I don't want to lose this experience. I don't want to start working in this position for so long and start implementing a system that I don't realize the problems when people start telling me we're having this problem, because the computer mindset and the IT people, they completely come out with and this guy that I was telling you that what was going to let his nursing license lapse, he actually teaches the classes for the electronic charting system that we have in some areas of the hospital. He teaches the classes for it, and I sat in on one of his classes last week, and it was he's lost the nursing idea, his concept, and people were asking questions about, well, this isn't the way that, this doesn't really jive with the workflow. His response was, well, that's the way it is, that's the way the computer system's built, you have to deal with it. And yes, in some cases that is correct. He didn't say it like that. He wasn't being a jerk or anything when he said that. So I don't mean to come across in that way, but he has completely responded back in an IT mindset, not a nursing mindset, because if he was a nurse and somebody implemented a computer system like that and it really disrupted his workflow and made things more difficult, he would have the same issues with it. But he's kind of forgotten that aspect because he's on the computer side now, and he looks at it just from the computer side. He doesn't look at it from the nursing side anymore. And I don't want to fall into that. And I asked my HR department today, I said, I want to be in a PRN position or a float pool position or whatnot, because I want to go pick up time. I don't want to lose my bedside experience. I want to see this system implemented and use it as a nurse would be using it to understand the issues that they're coming up with and the problems that they're having. I got a one-line response that was like, no, I'm sorry, we don't do that anymore. We can't hire people into positions like that now that you're in like informatics. Obviously this is more than a line. I'm kind of generalizing what was said here. But basically, now that you're in a non-union nursing informatics position, you can't work at the bedside at this hospital anymore. And I think that that's crazy. It's a fundamental issue when it comes to getting departments together. Like, it's building silos within the organization on something that they could easily change and allow people. I'm willing to pick up a shift on the weekend once or twice a month, maybe, just to see the system in action, just to not lose that bedside experience. They won't let me, which I think is crazy. And I think the system needs to change. And I think not only does the system need to change to allow that to happen, but I firmly believe that hospitals should strive for people to do that. You don't want to get people just thinking in a one-dimensional track of, I deal with the computer maintenance, this is what the system is, you have to deal with it, and not understand when people bring up the problems. They're just going to think people are complaining and not actually look at it and be like, wow, this significantly is something that's going to impact negatively the way that I work. And not only, like I said, am I not allowed to do that, but I think people should be wanting their employees to want to do that. And instead, somehow there's just a stoppage right in the middle. It's crazy. I can go to a different hospital and work as a bedside nurse. Why would you not want me maintaining my nursing skills and expertise at your own facility? I don't understand the problem with that. I mean, I get that there's a lot of corporate things going on, and, you know, it's probably difficult to code people in two different positions and all that, and I understand that, but that's something the hospital should work on. And I have a funny feeling that that's not the case just at my hospital. I think it's the case at many hospitals. I don't think people really hold multiple positions that are so vastly different, which I think they should. Makes employees very utilizable throughout the industry. I mean, can you imagine if we have another snowpocalypse out here, which the snow, like in DC, we had the big snowpocalypse, closed everything down, government, blah, blah, blah. But maybe I don't need to be there as an emergency employee because of the computer side, but all of a sudden, you got ED nurses that can't come in. If I can make it in, I live 3 blocks from the hospital. If you can call me up and say, Jeff, we need some help, we need somebody to be here because we are short-staffed in the emergency department or the ICU, places you've already worked, you have experience, you're trained in. How would that not be something that you would think that the company would want? And like I said, I don't think it's just a fault of my organization and my hospital. I think it's a fault of many organizations out there. And I don't know how to try to convince people to change that. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just asking too much to try to get that pushed up the ladder somewhere or not. But I don't know. I'm sorry. That was my rant for the day. And as you saw, I built some rail. I'm making my way slowly back to base, slowly for a way for people to come actually visit the witch farm. And that's kind of the ultimate goal of this, is once the witch farm is up and done, people can come visit the witch farm and utilize the witch farm, which will be good. Sorry, I've ranted for long enough, though. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all your support, and I will see you next time.